We like to be right. If I'm right and you're wrong, I don't have to change. And so that's pretty convenient for me because change, there's a desert part of change. Like if I have to change, I have to fall apart and then I have to put myself back together. It's very annoying to fall apart. You know, if you're arguing with your wife and it turns out you're wrong, then you have to go figure out why you're wrong. God only knows why you're wrong. Like maybe it's a deep wrong, maybe it's a pattern, and you have to take, maybe 10% of you has to go, something like that. And that's a kind of death. It's really hard. And so people will insist that they're right so they don't have to change, because change involves sacrifice, change involves death. I tell young men, it's like, find something difficult to do. You need that. You're not built for comfort or pleasure. Like if that comes along, good. You know, if you have a day where you're comfortable and there's some things around you that give pleasure, have some sense and enjoy it. But don't be thinking that's what your life is aimed at. That's contemptible. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. And if they orient themselves in that hedonistic direction, there's nothing in it but shame. So everybody has a temperament, and your temperament is going to provide you with opportunities. Like if you're extroverted, for example, you're going to be someone, you be tilted in a sales direction, you know, so that's a benefit that comes along with that temperament. Extroverts can be narcissists as well. And so that would be the sin that would be associated with that temperament. And wherever you are in the temperamental landscape, you're going to have some advantages conferred on you by those temperaments and some disadvantages, and it's useful to sort those out. So it's easy for creative people, for example, to be scattered. It's easy for people who are high in intelligence to be prideful, right? When I'm dealing with my wife, like we're trying to sort something out, what's my aim? I want to sort this out so we don't have to fight about it anymore. I want to put it right. And if I have to give up something stupid that I'm doing to put this right, that's okay, because what I'm aiming at is peace and tranquility and romantic adventure. And that's the pathway that I want to take forward. And if I have to give up something idiotic about myself to make that happen, I'd like to find out what it is so I can get rid of it as fast as possible. That's a sacrificial offering, right? There's an insistence in the biblical corpus that sacrifice is the pathway forward. There's no difference between that and maturation. There's no difference between that and work. Those are sacrificial offerings, right? And my experience as a therapist indicated to me that in the typical marriage, people need to spend at least 90 minutes a week talking to each other just about their lives, just about the domestic economy, about their kids, about their relationship, just to keep everything up to date. And it's very difficult to have any true intimacy if that isn't allowed for. You might find that frustrating that you have to spend that much time attending to your domestic landscape, let's say, but it's better to do that on a regular basis than to do it in divorce court while you're paying your lawyers, you know, $500 an hour and having a custody battle for your kids for 10 years, which is not a fate that I would recommend for anyone who wants to have a happy life. You actually don't have any hope or any freedom from anxiety without a vision for your future. Like a vision for your future is the structure that provides you with hope and that regulates your negative emotion. Because it specifies a goal. Eh? Once a goal is specified, you feel positive emotion in relationship to the goal. And your anxiety is constrained because you have a direction. You're anxious when you have way too many directions. That's why you get anxious if your car breaks down. It's like, what do I do now? Too many pathways. You want the pathways through life collapsed to a single implementable dimension, one that goes uphill. And then when you walk uphill, so to speak, each step that you see yourself making is indexed by positive emotion, hope, enthusiasm, meaning.